Well, there's tent cities on both sides of this road in the park areas. We passed some other areas that had big tent cities in them, really well organized, and these aren't tent cities like back in the States where they are arbitrarily thrown up by people. Look at this, fuel for people so they have something to cook with in their stoves. Look at those stoves. Beautiful. Living here the best they can because their homes have been destroyed. Yeah, so you can see this crane up there. They're going in and getting people's belongings and bringing them out so that they have their things. And these are the people we want to get resources in the hands of. Best we can. Be a little bit of help anyways. Nine of the authorities that were involved in safety approval for the buildings were arrested. I don't know if you saw that back in the States or not, but over there, they're also, it'll be a lovely sunset again. They're also getting out the things out of the apartment buildings. I mean, you know, some of these apartment buildings, they got huge cracks in them, and they're just not livable anymore. My wife was telling me a story about one of the offices we've been visiting, and one of the guys that was in his office was on 4th floor and was considering jumping out the window because he thought the whole building was going to come down on him. They said that people in the office were running around crazy and they could hear it, and it took a little bit of time before it caught up to above to them, and then this was, I'm sorry, I'm trying to take this all in. A lot of suffering. Fleas on a shaking dog. That's all we seem to be sometimes. It's so hard to remember just how small we are. I'm not going to be able to go through. That's all right. We'll just have to see from back here. Ooh. So this is at least one of the buildings came down. Look at that. Just one collapsed right off of the other. Half of the building, I guess, collapsed. Oh my hell. See all these cracks on the outsides of the buildings. And this is just the external stuff that you can see. I know from the earthquake I was in Seattle that the column I was standing next to got cracks in it. So a lot of other things can happen that you don't necessarily see on the outside. So, wow. Yeah, it looks like it's empty completely, doesn't it? I wonder how many of these buildings are now empty completely, and all those people are living in tents. do what we can, help where we can, and pray and give thanks for things that are good, and keep moving forward. That's what we got to do. Just like Attila said, can't look back. We have to move forward. Street. And this is actually a really small tent city. We saw big park area completely filled with tents, probably 10 to 20 rows, and then, kind of a similar sort of thing in the other direction. Very organized. They don't really have the same kind of space here to create that kind of organization. It's still very organized, very well utilize the land space they have. And this is just one area, just one part. People love to honk here in Turkey. One quick little honk is actually a polite honk. If you lay on the horn and you just stay on it, that means you're really upset. But Batu says there's a whole Morse code of honking here in Turkey for driving. I have to say, though, I really felt like the honking in Izmir was a whole lot more polite than the honking in any other part of the cities we've been to. Wow. Okay, that's beautiful. People are getting food, they're feeding them. What happens after this? That's what, here's a lovely street dog. What happens after? How do they rebuild their lives? That's the part that to me is so kind of terrifying. All this stuff came out of Istanbul. Where's it? Yeah?
No, this is all free for the people.
All the food is free?
You just offered us if you wanted.
The food? Thank you.
They made it says çocuk oyun alanı, that means a playground for kids. They brought some toys and stuff like that, just distract the kids and
yeah. Try and give them a sense of normalcy. Yeah. I like that the people keep their tents closed for the most part, trying to get a little bit of privacy. And so we'll try and help a little bit. This is another side of the, we're a few blocks down from where we were a minute ago. He's pulling a propane tank out of there. That's part of it, man. I mean, there's propane all over in these buildings, how they cook and everything. I wonder how many propane explosions have happened. This is, all that moving around on buckets causes sparks. People from all over the country have come to help. buildings seem to be like that one right there, the tall one right there in the background. Like a red light on top of it. It looks like it's in great shape. There's people living in this one, so it must be in okay shape. A lot of the buildings are just completely empty though. Well, good night from Izmir.
Bu yıkılan binalar
So
nerede
we're
kalıyor?
trying to find the areas where the damage has been done the worst and
Karşıya
whatnot.
gideceğim.
And down here we've got tents that are all spread out. People are living in down there. It's all that white. We were going to go visit a man that supplied a bunch of those tents. He owns a factory here in Izmir. And earlier today, or last night, I guess, his factory was robbed. And so he's been working with the police all day. Weren't able to meet me though. I guess we get desperate. Got more tents over here. Look at this, just incredible. Beautiful way though. Look how well organized it is. Look at that. All laid out, neat, even rows, all spaced out. We're not talking about tent city here like in Los Angeles. We're talking about, people that are trying to do things and live, still keep their lives going in a good way. Imagine that building shaking, you in the bottom of it, and it's shaking, and you're wondering, holy crap, is it coming down on top of me? I can imagine it, because it happened to me in Seattle. I was in a building, but I didn't live in it. And I think it's very different if you live in a building and that happens and you experience that kind of thing. And it must be terrifying. Yeah. Some ladder up over there.